Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from group 6 and now we are going to present our material about creating effective copy. But before that, let me introduce our group members. First, Hesti Kurniasih with student number 18. Second, me Tisnin Taubi with student number 21. Next, Audrey Zatul Akmar with student number 25. And last, Fani Rahma Mawida with student number 28. So the first material will be presented by me. Visual element influence the overall impression that any advertisement makes. To create strong messages, visual elements such as relevant images, photography, or illustration, the usage of appropriate color, layout, and typography must all function together, because a strong idea can be seriously weakened by sloppy copy or awkward artwork. The best advertisement combine design and text aspects that complement one another to create a persuasive and unified whole. The greatest messages are produced through an efficient collaboration between the visual and the verbal. But interesting visual elements and persuasive text are not enough to make a great advertisement, because we need creativity and originality. So, what is creativity and originality? Creativity comes from the word creative, which is an ability to produce original and unique thoughts, ideas, and possibilities to help solve problems, aid in communication, and can also be a form of entertainment. While originality comes from the word original, that means something wholly new or alternatively an early historic example of such a thing. In other words, it can be applied to something that is bang up to date and brand spanking new, or instead something old from a former era where it originated. You don't have to be original to be creative, because there are many ideas that aren't original and yet are still effective. Then, what should we do? To make old ideas appear new, you can always employ up-to-date imagery and typography, which is where another element of creativity and originality comes in. We can take a look at this creative advertisement. So, the advertisement for Innocent Smoothies is a fine example of keeping your creative message simple yet striking, which is particularly appropriate for a product which prides itself on its simple natural qualities. The ads emphasize the purity of natural ingredients and the absence of any chemical additives, all in a design style which itself has a certain studied innocence and simplicity. So the next example is Dove advertisement. Dove uses originality and creativity where an old idea has literally been turned around and looked at in a new way. For centuries, health and beauty products have been promoted as holding back time or taking years off your appearance, where we can see young women fill the pages of our magazines and skip across our TV screens holding out the promise that this or that anti-age product will make you look this young. That's why it was so refreshing that a creative mind came up with the idea of turning anti-age on its head by suggesting that people had the ability and the right to look good at any age. Dove offered skin products that were intended to enhance your looks whatever your age. Dove products aren't marketed as anti-age, they are promoted as pro-age. It's a brilliant reversal. Dove has recognized an eternal truth and realized that the woman they wish to target want to feel good about getting older. Suddenly, Dove is on our side, creating products that will enhance our looks no matter how old we are, rather than rejecting the aging process. Creativity can be a contradiction. A clever technique used by advertisers is to take one style of advertising and apply it in an unexpected way to promote something entirely different. We like to play with different media forms and use elements of parody and pastiche to make our ads stand out from the crowd. This contrast in styles may be funny or shocking, but it can certainly make you sit up and take notice. To turn an old idea into an amusing ad, you can always engage in a spot of role reversal. Take the TV ad for the Vauxhall Zafira, where this family vehicle is proudly displayed by children who appear to have switched roles with their parents. Their adult conversation succeeds in creating a comic approach that puts across the product features and benefits with wit and style. Imagine if it had been a straight delivery from adults discussing their purchase and how proud they were of their new vehicle. Hardly anyone would have taken the ad seriously, and the whole thing would have fallen flat. Thanks to this clever role reversal, the serious-minded children generate humor at the expense of their parents, who are portrayed as bickering because they are overtired or playing on the beach like excited school kids.
A lot of advertising doesn't make sense. Many headlines using contradictions such as surprising statements that don't appear to make sense until you find out their meaning further. But when you are going to make the headlines, take a note to not make the puzzle too complicated. The example is Neutrogena hand cream. They boldly claims in a press ad, in Norway it's always cold, perfect weather for soft hands. Most people would consider cold weather to be potentially damaging to their skin with the risk of sore hands, but Neutrogena presented as perfect weather for soft hands. There is surprising contrast between cold weather and soft hands provides a good example of how contradiction to make a selling point. The sentence Norwegian formula Neutrogena hand cream instantly relieves and intensely moisturizes even dry, chapped hands has overriding message that if this product can work in such tough and testing conditions as a Norwegian winter, then it should certainly perform its function well in less demanding climates. The next example is the contradiction in the headline Step inside and admire the view. This line was supported by an image of a comfortable living room complete with French windows looking out over the sunlit bay. People would usually expect to step outside to admire the view. There is also an ambiguity about whether the view referred to the outside or the inside of the house. The headline also seen as an open invitation to come along and view these homes. The next example is the If you enjoy today, get your money back headlines. The contradiction of these headlines is usually you will only expect to get your money back if you'd had a bad experience. The idea was to intrigue viewers to read on about the low cost of membership and the opportunity to reclaim your entrance money. Advertisements often plays with our hopes and desires and preys on our fears and weaknesses. One of those desires or weaknesses is that most of us would like to appeal to the opposite sex or the same sex if that's your preference. And many adverts will therefore emphasize increased sexual allure and romantic success, even it's only through a vague association with their product. The success sample is Link's body sprays that give idea that the body spray now lasted 24 hours, so you have time to catch up with attractive young ladies around the world. And how appropriate to use postcards with the various destinations highlighted as being so many hours traveling time away with the girls just waiting for you to arrive. Advertisers should develop their advertisements such as take the ads digitally so the viewers interact with your ads by pressing the red button on their remote control. And yet, for many advertisers, this has proved to be a successful way of engaging with their audience. A great number of viewers have actively chosen to interact with adverts and seek further information or entertainment from this digital source. The example is Links, which successful on entertaining viewers with various interactive options. They showed like speed dating video where a girl apparently sits opposite you and you have to decide whether you are going to press a button on your remote control to spray links. In this particular version, if you don't spray, the prim-looking girl with her hair up and glasses firmly on remains dull and uninterested. However, if you press the button that sprays links, she lets her hair down, becomes highly animated, and starts removing her clothes. Sometimes you can just straight to the point. It might pay to sacrifice your cleverness and style for a very simple and straightforward message. Is it actually any more effective to promote a shoe sale with the word playing headline "We're stamping down on prices" rather than using the simple statement 50% off all shoes or half price footwear? I will choose the latter one. A further example of straightforward advertising with a direct message from innocent smoothies to emphasize this product's own natural simplicity. So pure, it bears repetition, nothing but fruit.
Next material is editing in copywriting. Editing means the art of shaping and refining a manuscript into a publishable copy. It is a process of making choices on selecting the best from what is laid before. Also, it is a process to ensure a written text is accurate, clear, and correct. It applies to a wide variety of writing genre, including text in books, magazine, news article, and advertisement. Copy editors often use style guides to ensure the language is appropriate for the intended audience. Also, editing refers to reviewing content, most often is journalistic article, to review and correct spelling, grammar, and factual accuracy. This is the steps of editing. First is proofreading. Proofreading involves checking grammar, spelling, spacing, punctuation, capitalization, formatting, pronoun usage, and verb tense consistency. Copy editing involves checking the copy for grammar, punctuation, word appropriateness, jargon, and issues in style, while proofreading focuses on fixing typographical error in already edited and designed copy. Second, line editing. As part of line editing, editors consider clarity, consistency, accuracy, tone, and overall effectiveness of the writing. They ensure that the main points and argument of a copy are clear, coherent, and well supported. Last is fact-checking. Fact-checking aims to correct factually inaccurate information or misperception in reading content. Copy editors may fact-check by analyzing statements and assessing their truth or veracity. The next slide is why editing is important. First, it makes your content more algorithm friendly. With the rapid development of algorithm of search engine and social media sites, there's a risk that your content may not reach your target audience. An editing process that is cognizant of such requirement allows you to put out content that is algorithm friendly, thus increasing your reach. Second, content editing makes technical language more accessible. For example, if your company specializes in creating high-end engineering equipment, you might need to explain jargon to someone unfamiliar with such equipment. A content editor helps you revise your content and ensure that the inherent meaning of your content doesn't change, but the reader still understand what you're exactly trying to convey. Next is avoid errors. For example, like grammar errors, typos, missing punctuation, bad sentence structure, and other language error may seem like minor issues to you. But to your reader, they may seem jarring and even leave bad impression. These errors that are really easy to eliminate, and a content editor is your go-to person for that. Last is a revision made for engaging content. Their expertise of language allow them to make content suggestions that make your copy more dynamic, in turn allowing you to present yourself as more approachable, friendly, and customer-oriented.
The next material is about advertising media. Do you know, guys, what is advertising media? Yeah, advertising media refers to a variety of mass media or alternative media channels where business can promote their product, service, or brand. Since it is impossible for every customer to know about every brand's offerings, knowing which advertising media channels are beneficial for your company can be crucial in getting ahead of your competitors. In this occasion, we are going to learn about 6 advertising media channels. The first channel, do you know what is that, guys? Correct, that is television and YouTube. Television combines audio with visual. This creates a multisensory advertising experience that shows viewers how your product is valuable. When you play a commercial on someone's television, the touch point takes place in their home. This makes it a more personal medium. However, a con of television advertising is that viewers do not always actively listen to television commercials and often try to skip or avoid them when given the opportunity. Also, not everyone tuning in will be part of your target audience, making it easier to waste your advertising budget. Next is audio advertising. Yeah, radio. Radio is also a cost-effective medium, especially when compared to its television counterpart. Through radio, advertisers can frequently message consumers without allocating all their budget on more expensive ads. However, radio only engages through audio. This makes it more difficult to command a listener's attention, and the lack of a visual channels makes it more difficult to illustrate the product. The third channel is newspaper. Newspapers can reach millions of people every day and are one of the most trusted mediums. But newspaper viewership continues to decline. Then the fourth channel is magazine. Magazine audiences are highly targeted, allowing marketers to easily target relevant consumers without wasting budget. On the other hand, advertisers must have their advertisement ready weeks or months in advance of the publication date, which can make it difficult to place timely ads. Next is out-of-home advertising. The example of out-of-home advertising are billboards and murals. It is very beneficial when utilized properly. It is less costly than TV or radio ads and can leave a great impression on consumers. But again, it has a cons. It can be very difficult to segment an audience and target a specific type of consumers. The last channels you can use is social media. Social advertising can be very targeted and very cost-effective. But since social media is an accessible platform, it attracts a lot of competition. Brands must strive to stand out with compelling content.
I think that's all from us. We hope that everyone who's already watched this video understand the materials. Thanks for watching and see ya!